Used car prices continue to go down, but let's be clear here.
No. Used car wholesale values, what dealers are paying for the vehicles at the auction, are continuing to go down. Used car prices, not so much.
Okay, but they are going down just a little bit. We have the latest data from our dear friends over at Black Book, and here's the deal.
And they are our dear friends.
We've had them on the show multiple times. We like Jared, we like Laura, we like the whole team over there.
Yeah.
And Black Book, just to be clear, actually, their data powers financial institutions, dealers, trade-in values, the whole 9 yards.
Yes.
But here's what they're seeing.
Yes.
Wholesale prices are dropping. I think dropping is an appropriate term here. They're not just coming down. We're seeing close to a point week-over-week declines.
The past 2 weeks, yes.
So let's put this into context here. Yeah. Last year, used car prices on the wholesale side appreciated 52%. The year before that, used car prices appreciated 12%.
Yes.
So 2-year total, rounded up, 65%.
Modern math, apparently.
Now this year, last week, for cars, we had a 0.84% decline week over week in wholesale used car prices.
Yes.
This week, 0.82%.
Yeah.
That's over 1.5 points in decline.
That's like 1.66
math
points.
There it is.
Yes.
So the market is starting to see.
I wonder what the delta would be.
The market is starting to see some softening. Now, like you said, on the retail side, not so much. However, we're seeing negotiations happen again on the used car market.
We're seeing more dealers being willing or unwilling, but accommodating customers by negotiating a little bit on the pricing.
I don't agree with the term accommodating, because there's a financial reason to negotiate now and there wasn't before. There's an incentive as a dealership to negotiate with a consumer versus turning around and selling to auction. We did a live show just the other day. Yeah. And during that live show, we had a former dealer tell us that in their area, a dealership group took 200 cars to auction and turned around and sold them.
Yes.
The reason being, and lost money. The reason being because they're getting them cold feet. They're getting nervous.
Okay.
You'd rather sell.
I'd call off the wedding.
You'd rather sell that inventory to a consumer because you can try and make money.
On the back end, you can make money in the finance department. And by selling it to a retail customer, okay, you give your finance department an opportunity to make some money, make some of that front-end loss back if there was a front-end loss. If it's a brand that you represent, then you're creating an opportunity for your parts and service departments going forward, in case the people want to service the car at that dealership. If you wholesale the car at the auction, you're done.
So let's put that into perspective then. Why would a major dealership group sell 200 cars back to auction when prices are going down? It's because they're getting nervous. Okay, so let's break it down by segments of vehicle data. What happened in this most recent week? The most precipitous declines were amongst midsize and full-size cars.
Yes, well over a point in both cases. Yeah, which if a car goes down, cars go down over a point in a week.
$200 declines in prices, wholesale prices, week over week.
That's significant, and if that continues for a number of weeks. I know the last time we did a market update, you suggested that wholesale values had dropped about 5%, when in reality it was closer to 3%. But now we're getting to the point where we've seen close to a 5% decline in the wholesale values of these vehicles since the beginning of the year.
Absolutely.
Now, if and when we'll see a commensurate decline in retail asking prices, we're probably 6 to 7, 8 weeks away from that.
I want to come back to that. Let's start here with the other segment of vehicles, trucks and SUVs.
Yes.
Let's break that segment down as well, Dad. Every single segment of truck, SUV, and van declined with the exception of full-size vans.
Yes.
Now 62 weeks in a row?
63 or 64, something like that.
Each week, van prices have gone up on the wholesale market.
The Bitcoin of automotive.
The Bitcoin of automotive. Now everything else declined. Trucks, compact SUVs, full-size SUVs, minivans, everything else declined pretty significantly.
Yeah, full-size crossover SUVs dropped over a point.
Yeah, which is, again...
Okay, subcompact luxury crossovers dropped nearly a point.
Yeah.
Okay, even the subcompact crossovers dropped close to a point.
So now let's transition to what we're seeing on the retail side, which would be the first decline we've seen so far of this year in retail asking prices.
Yes.
Again, what we're seeing back on the YAA community forum, join yaa.com/community, what we're seeing, reading, and helping people with there are List price is X. Okay, let's take $3,000 off. We're seeing that. There was that
Yeah.
BMW deal that we talked about last week in the other market update.
$50-some they took off.
Yeah, she ended up saving $5,000 on a used BMW just because she negotiated.
Yes.
So we are seeing that. But retail listing prices actually declined this past week.
Yes.
The way that Black Book does that is they look at all the cars for sale online and did the values change? Yeah, they went down just a little bit. We expect to see more of that over the coming weeks here, don't we?
Until probably mid-March. So for the next 2 to 2.5 weeks.
So let's end on that. What do you expect to happen come mid-March and, I don't know, then through April, May, June?
Depending on what goes on in the world,
Yeah.
If the world stays semi-stable, then I would expect by mid-March, that's the start of the spring selling season, and we will see asking prices go back up again. If things become somewhat unstable and more people take themselves out of the market, and we say it week in and week out. If you absolutely positively need to buy a car, then go buy a car. And for the next 2 to 3 weeks, if it's a used car, you might be able to save some money off of the asking price. If you want to buy a car, but you don't need to buy a car, control your wants and stay out of the market. The more people that stay out of the market, the fewer people that express a desire to buy a car will help dealers determine what their asking prices will be. If there's less and less people coming in showing an interest in the vehicle, then dealers are going to go, well, maybe our prices are too high. And one way to attract buyers again would be to lower the prices. So if you're strictly doing this because of want, don't. And if you can, then you'll help stabilize prices for new and used cars.
Now, one other thing I want to turn our attention to would be the sales rate at the auction. This is a bit of like a proxy measure for how well things are going. Like if the sales rate's really high, then that means that a lot of really well-priced inventory is making it across the line. The sales rate has been, honestly, just more demand.
Yeah.
The sales rate was 61% this past week. It's been around 62%. I don't want to get into the technicalities of like what's high, what's low. Last year in March, that sales rate at the auction went up 10%. So wholesale sales rates went up a whole 10%, 10 points, I should say, month over month. That means that there was more demand. That means that dealers wanted more inventory on their lots. We've talked about a bit on this channel before. January and February, slow selling months. Great. We're seeing, the leverage that consumers can have right now. If you need to buy a car, you can negotiate. Again, we'll be watching the sales rate come March, April, May, because if the sales rate's going back up, it probably means that there's the consumer demand and the prices are going back up.
It means that people couldn't control their want.
Okay, you blame the people.
Well, who do you want to blame?
I don't know.
Who are you going to blame? The dealers can only get what people are willing to pay.
You didn't catch my government comment.
What was it?
I said the government.
Yeah, let's blame the government.
That's easy. That's easy. It's like a cop-out.
Yeah, blame the government. It's consumers. Us consumers have to control our urges.
Let's leave it there for today, Pops. We'll have another weekly.
I'm going to try and control my urges.
We'll have another weekly update next week. If you want to become a YA member, join YAA.com. We're doing the best we can to help everyone navigate this time when you need to buy a car.
Yes, need.